Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. It's really pretty here in Central Ohio. So we are going to be doing another canning tutorial for you. Now, we are heading towards the end of summer, unfortunately, but I wanted to take advantage of the vegetables that we can still readily get on hand before the summer season closes and can up a delicious vegetable soup for you. Many of you guys ask me for small batch canning, which this recipe is going to be, and you also have been asking for vegetarian recipes. So this meets both of those requests. We're going to be making small batch vegetable soup with no meat added. It's totally vegetarian. So I hope you all will enjoy coming along with me today. So before we get started, I do have a little bit of a disclaimer. I goofed up. I have a confession to make. I goofed up. Sometimes when I do filming, I do things in reverse order. I will actually make whatever it is that I'm filming to make, and then I do my intro later, and that is what I did today, and it has caused me a little bit of a problem because I knew that the guideline for using stock had changed, and I read it when it first came out and thought I remembered everything in it, but apparently I did not. I wanted to bring it to your attention today and kind of go over the changes in case you were unaware. And as I was refreshing myself on the new guideline changes, I realized that I messed up in this video. The new guideline states that if a recipe we are canning does not call for stock or broth, we are not to use it. And I think that that is unfortunate because that is a way I have used for years in my canning recipes to add more flavor, which I did here. So, and I don't want to start a firestorm of arguments in the comment section for those. I'm sure there'll be those on both sides who agree and who disagree. From the average person's perspective, it seems strange that we could not interchange water and stock, since number one, we've done it for years, and number two, they're both liquid. So I'm not a food scientist, so I'm not going to say that the new guideline is wrong. It seems weird in my opinion, but if you want to adhere to safe canning guidelines and can all of your recipes by the book, the new guideline states that we cannot use stock. I didn't want to have to trash all the effort I put into filming this video, so I'm telling you up front, I'm going to be demonstrating using stock, but if you want to follow safety guidelines to the letter, you should use water instead. The original recipe did call for water. I switched it to stock thinking that would be a good way to add flavor, and apparently that is wrong now. So before we get into the recipe, I did want to read the guideline to you verbatim so that you can understand where they're coming from. Now, they did earlier this year, they did really tighten up on us using stock. For those of us who love to use better than bouillon or bouillon cubes, they said that we could not do that. And then they got a lot of pushback, and I think they went back and revisited the way they wrote the guideline. So this is a news flash from the National Center of Home Food Preservation. It is titled Revised Recommendations for Stock Broth Concentrates, June 25th of 2025 is when they instituted this new guideline. Broth or stock concentrates such as bouillon cubes, powders, or base paste should only be used in home canning recipes when the recipe specifically calls for liquid broth or stock, and they must be fully dissolved in water according to manufacturer's instructions before being added. The key points: broth and stock may be used interchangeably in up-to-date pressure canning recipes from reliable sources. Research accounted for the differences in broth and stock composition. Reconstitute broth or stock concentrates by dissolving them in water according to the manufacturer's instructions. If the recipe does not include broth or stock as an ingredient, do not add any. So as I demonstrated, as you'll see in a minute, as I demonstrated here, I swapped stock for water, and they don't want us to do that. Do not add bouillon cube or other concentrate that has not been reconstituted directly to a recipe. Do not substitute broth or stock for other liquids such as water or juice in boiling water canning recipes. If you understand the science behind canning, you should know not to do that. Last one anyway, stock is a low acid food and must be pressure canned, so it wouldn't be safe for you to swap it out in a water bath recipe, but I guess they have to say that for safety reasons. So anyway, if you want to follow the guidelines to the letter of the law, we can no longer use stock as a base in soup recipes unless a recipe specifically says to use broth or stock. So anyway, I apologize that it is in this video, but I'm making the disclaimer up front that to stay safe or to follow recommended safety guidelines, I'll say it that way, you should not swap them out. So anyway, on with the recipe. Now, this recipe I found in 4 different places actually, and there were some differences in each of those places. So I did want to mention it because for those of you who have several of the resources, you're going to go, okay, well, that's not what my book says. So the recipe I'm going to be demonstrating is out of the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving, and I will leave a link in the description box below to this book if you would like to have it in your canning arsenal. It is also in the Ball Blue Book. It is also on the Ball Canning website and on the Bernardin website. There are a few things that are a little bit different in each one, and I'm not going to say who's right and who's wrong. I just think that there's not a lot of clarity. I don't know if it's a matter of right and wrong, but there's not a lot of clarity. On the Ball Canning website, they allow us to use, they say to use fresh corn, they say to use green lima beans, they do not state fresh or frozen. And their instructions are to simmer for 15 minutes prior to canning. The Bernardin website says to use fresh corn. Shelled lima beans, which in my mind implies using fresh lima beans, and to only boil 5 minutes before you process it. In this book, they specifically say to use cooked lima beans, and you can use fresh or frozen corn kernels. So there are some options there. I just decided to take one and go for it. I didn't use the fresh lima beans because I don't have access to those. I haven't really seen them in any farmers markets. So I'm not sure, unless you grow them yourself, I'm not sure where to find fresh lima beans. So I was glad to see that they've cooked them prior to canning, putting it together to can in this recipe. So I just used a bag of frozen lima beans and cooked them according to the instructions on the bag to prep my lima beans for the recipe. So to make this recipe, the other note I wanted to make is I have cut this recipe in half so that it would be small batch canning. So you can double all the ingredients that I used, and I will list that all below, or you can cut the recipe in half. For the recipe today, this is going to make either 3 quart jars or so, or 7 pint jars. I'm going to be canning in pints, so this is going to give me a canner load. I use the All-American 915, and it will hold 7 pint wide mouth jars. So this was perfect for me, and I don't need a ton of vegetable soup on my shelf because it's only me. So this is what I used to demonstrate in today's video. You need 4 cups of chopped, cored, and peeled tomatoes. To prep my tomatoes, I blanched them in boiling water for 60 to 90 seconds, and then I put them in a ice bath until they cooled enough for me to remove the core and chop them in large pieces. You need 3 cups of cubed peeled potatoes. I just peeled my potatoes. I did use russets. I peeled them and then I cubed them into bite-sized pieces. You need 3 cups of thickly sliced carrots. To prep them, I just peeled them, washed them, peeled them, and then cut them into about 1/4 inch slices. You need 2 cups of cooked lima beans. As I stated before, I just used a bag of frozen lima beans and cooked them according to the instructions on the package to prep them. You need 2 cups of fresh or frozen corn kernels. I used fresh to prep my corn. I just removed the corn from the husk and then cut them without cooking them, cut the kernels off the cob. You need 1 cup of sliced celery. I just washed my celery, cut off the ends, and then cut my celery in about 1/4 inch pieces. You need 1 cup of chopped onions. I just used a large sweet onion and cut it into, just gave it a nice rough chop. And then you need 3 cups of water, not stock. As far as seasonings go, I did add some dried seasonings. I used 1 bay leaf, 1 tablespoon of seasoned salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. It is completely safe to add whatever dried herbs you would like to use to season your soup. So feel free to season your soup however you would prefer it to taste. Also, just note that this is a pressure canning recipe because it is considered a low acid food, so it must be pressure canned for safety. You can pressure can in pints or quart jars. I'm doing pints, so we're going to be processing for 55 minutes. If you are processing in quarts, you're going to be processing for 85 minutes, and please just note that those times are different than a lot of soups. They're less time, so this recipe was tested as is. We are not going to be changing any of the ingredients. So if there's a vegetable included in this recipe you don't like, it's safe to leave it out, but you cannot swap it for another vegetable safely. So please don't do that. If you want to swap it out for another vegetable and make the vegetable soup your own, please follow the guidelines for canning your own soups on the National Center of Home Food Preservation's website, and I will leave a link in that to the description box below. So enough talk, let's get started. Guys, we are all ready to get started. So we are going to start by adding 4 cups of our diced tomatoes. We have 3 cups of our diced potatoes, 3 cups of carrots, 2 cups of lima beans. And just as an FYI, you guys, jars make a great prep tool for measuring your ingredients. I love that. 2 cups of corn kernels, 1 cup of celery, 1 cup of onion, diced onion, and then we're going to add 4 cups of vegetable stock. Now for seasonings, I am going to add 1 tablespoon of seasoned salt. Now, Ball doesn't say anything to add any seasonings other than salt and pepper, so you add whatever you like here. Any dried spices are totally fine. So 1 tablespoon of seasoned salt. I'm going to use about a 1/2 tablespoon of garlic powder. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of dried parsley flakes. I just think parsley adds a little bit of something in the background to soups. I love it. You can leave it out if you don't groove on it, but I do enjoy dried parsley. And then we're going to add 1 bay leaf. We're going to give that a stir. We're going to bring this up to high, and then we're going to reduce the heat and let it boil gently for about 15 minutes. While that's happening, I'm going to get my canner and my jars ready. Okay guys, we are all set for canning. I gently simmered my soup for 15 minutes, and you really do want to do it gently. You don't want to overcook your soup because it will continue cooking in our jars as we are canning. I am using the All-American canner. I have 3 inches of simmering water in the bottom of it right now. I am starting with hot jars. You don't need to pre-sterilize your jars or lids, but they do need to be hot. I just washed mine, set them aside, and I've kept them hot in my canner. Today I'm going to be using Ball lids. They do not require preheating or simmering ahead of time. I highly recommend that you don't. They changed their sealing compound a few years ago, and if you do preheat them, it's going to cause you seal failure. So I just washed my lids also and set those aside. So we are all set to fill our jars. So we are going to ladle our hot soup into our hot jars to 1 inch headspace. Make sure you taste your soup and make sure you're happy with the flavor of it. Mine tastes absolutely amazing. Make sure you remove the bay leaf before you start filling your jars. And also note that I did leave the lid, since we're not using a ton of liquid, I did leave the lid on my stock pot as I was simmering my soup. So I didn't lose any, so there was no evaporation and I didn't lose any liquid. So once you get to the 1-inch headspace, you're going to use a debubbling tool, plastic butter knife, or chopstick to release any air bubbles. That is referred to as debubbling. So just poke around your jar. Then we're going to take a paper towel dipped in white vinegar to wipe our rims. We don't want anything to interfere with getting a good seal. We're going to center our lids, then add our bands to fingertip tight, and in the canner they go. Okay guys, I got exactly 7 pint jars, so that's what I was shooting for, so we did good on the amount of ingredients. I'm going to take a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar that I had left over from wiping my rims, and I'm going to add that to my canning water. That just prevents mineral deposits from our water collecting on the outside of our jars, so it'll just help to keep your jars nice and clean during the canning process. I'm going to put my lid on my All-American canner, and then we want to get it pretty even, and then you want to tighten your thumb screws 2 at a time, opposites. So opposite side, you want to do them 2 at a time. All right, and then we are going to crank up our heat until we have steam coming out of our vent. We want to see a steady stream of steam coming out of our vent for 10 minutes. That's called venting. Once that happens, then we are going to add our weight. All right, I've been venting for 10 minutes, so now it's time to add my weight. I'm going to be processing at 10 psi. If you are above sea level, you need to make adjustments and change that, so make sure you know your altitude and at what pressure you're supposed to be canning at. So I put on my weight. If we get up to about 240 degrees, my weight should start rocking and rolling. The All-American canner is considered a weighted gauge canner, even though it does have a dial gauge on it. So for those of you who are using it, your gauge should register at about 240 degrees when it starts rocking and rolling, but you always want to go by the rocking of your weight to tell if it's at the right PSI. Once your weight starts rocking, you're going to start your processing time. If you are processing in pint jars, as I am, you're going to be processed for 55 minutes. If you are processing in quart jars, you are going to process for 85 minutes. When we get there, I'll bring you back. Okay, so my weight has started rocking and I have started my processing time, but I wanted to bring you back to also further explain that we do not want it rocking that hard throughout the canning process. For the All-American canner, you want it to ideally rock 1 to 3 times a minute. So I'm going to slowly reduce my heat to get to the point to where I'm just maintaining the rocking 1 to 3 times a minute. When you are adjusting your heat, make sure that you are not adjusting it too quickly because temperature fluctuations in your canner can cause, or rapid temperature fluctuations in your canner can cause siphoning, and we don't want that to happen. So just slowly reduce your heat until you get it to rock 1 to 3 times a minute. I know the Presto canner is supposed to rock consistently throughout the canning process, so make sure that you know what canner you have and you understand how your weight is supposed to be rocking appropriately for proper processing. So anyway, we're going to continue processing and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, I got like I said, I did 7 pint jars. I processed for 55 minutes. Like I told you, once my processing time was up, I turned off my heat, let my canner return to 0 pressure, and then I waited about 5 minutes, took the lid off, and let my jars sit in my canner for about 15 additional minutes. So here we are. We have beautiful jars of delicious vegetable soup. And I can't think of anything more comforting in the wintertime than a delicious and nutritious bowl of vegetable soup. So I hope you all will give this a try. I hope I didn't cause any confusion. I hope I brought clarity with the water versus broth. I hope that you understand that guideline now. And I apologize that I was so excited to make my vegetable soup, I didn't check the guideline before I went ahead and filmed. So I hope there's no confusion. If you have any comments or questions for me, leave them in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, guys.